Blog Talk Radio.
He is the last of his kind. All that remains of a once powerful nation. Some think he is a myth. Some believe he is the chosen one, who will bring balance to a world at war. And some will stop at nothing to destroy him.
You don't have to lose your home due to foreclosure. You don't have to worry about child support. You don't have to be in credit card debt. Have no fear. Tarhaka Armana El Bey is here at newdebtelimination.com. Got student loans, child support, mortgages? Contact someone who's got the experience and the knowledge to get you back under God's law. That's Tarhaka Armana El Bey. He's been there, he's done that, and he can prove it. Just give him a call at 904-303-9061. That number again is 904-303-9061. And log on to newdebtelimination.com. That's newdebtelimination.com and get yourself free.
Welcome, Moorish Talk Live 100. I'm your host, Tarhaka Armana El Bey. And tonight, our special guest will be Brother Abdullah El Talib Mosi Bey. He is the author of the Moors and Masonry, author of the book Moors and Masonry. And tonight's topic will be the European Masons and the stolen legacy of the Moorish estate. So y'all make sure that y'all remain tuned in. And before we get started with tonight's broadcast, we will be bringing in our commercials. And keep in mind, we will have other broadcasts coming on this month, the month of June. So y'all make sure that y'all watch out for the advertisement. Tonight, we'll be dealing with the following questions. What does Masonry have to do with the Moors? What does Masonry have to do with Europeans? Who is the imposters? What was it that was not taught to us in history class? And where on earth did Masonry come from in the first place? These are just a few of the questions that we will deal with this evening. Keep in mind that later on in the broadcast, the phone lines will be open. If you have a question for our guests, you press 1 on the phone. That'll give me indication that you have something to say. Matter of fact, you have to press 1 on the phone before I even are able to open up the line. So make sure you got that done. Also, keep in mind for the brothers and sisters that have gotten access party and creditor situation, this Saturday night we will be hosting a private conference call. So make sure you look out for the email and make sure you dial into that conference call on time, okay? The call will be recorded, so you have access to it. You'll be able to go over the information that we discussed there as well. But let me get into these commercials, and we'll come back. We'll be ready to go into the broadcast. So y'all hold on a moment.
What does Tarhaka Secure Party and Creditor
package entails: private consultation by phone and email, the correct system for paying your property taxes in the private, the documents you will need to conduct business and transactions, public and private, Tarhaka Library, documents for status change in commerce, master study manuals, and trust guides, free credit repair with all 3 credit bureaus, a business for you in itself, educational materials on DVD and CD sent directly to your postal box, 1099's education, and how to file, how to become a private banker the right way, asset building, protection, and investing. We also, for all of our clients, host our private conference calls. To access this kind of education and power, go to www.newdataelimination.com or call me directly, 904-303-9061. Also keep in mind, we have the top, best financial advisors there is. Peace. How do you live in America as a free man or woman? What must you know about yourself that must be law? How do you operate in commerce without major problems? Go to www.newdataelimination.com. That's www.newdataelimination.com. Call me, Tarhaka Amana El Bey, at 904-303-9061 before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 904-303-9061 before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. How do you live in America as a free man or woman? Let's get to the solution. Peace.
Okay, Mose, we back. I have a copy of my brother's book here, Brother Bay, and I'm going to go over the first part of this thing here before we bring our illustrious guests in. Give you a little bit on the background of the brother. Let's see, get this here turned over here. Just bear with me for a minute. Got a little glue on this thing. Okay. Now, it says in the preface, I envision empowering the Masons and Eastern Stars who currently are classified as Black, Negro, Colored, and African Americans in the United States Census Bureau, and as Black in the United States. Race and ethnic standards for federal statistics and administrative reporting. Directed statistical policy, number 15. And let me get over here and get down into the meat and potatoes of this thing later on, because the boy has put in quite a bit of time and exhaustive information that, in my opinion, I think is very important for us to know. And he has dealt with the history and the whole thing, and we're gonna bring him in so he can give us some insight on this thing. So, without further ado, I'm gonna open up the phone line and bring my brother in. Area code Islam, brother Mosiah Bay. Abdullah, how you doing, my brother? I'm fine.
Good,
I'm fine,
good.
man.
It is great to be back on your show, man. Thank you for having me again for the, 5th or 6th time.
All right, you are quite welcome.
It's an honor. Need an honor, and I'm looking forward to enlightening the people to this evening. Your list of questions. You had about 4 or 5 questions that you read to the audience a few minutes ago. Yeah. First, I want to start up. For anyone who are interested in getting the book, they can go to one of my websites, moorsandmasonry.org. Moors and the word and A&D Masonry MASONRY.org to get the book. All right, that'll take you. You'll see that book there. If you want to get the PDF version of the book, it's also on that same website. All right, so you wanted me to deal with the questions first. I do have.
Before we get into that, what I would like you to do is give the listening audience some background information on you. You know, your educational stats and all this stuff.
All right.
Because after all, you did write a book, and we want to know what you got under your belt, man.
You want to read that to him, brother? You want to read the about the author section?
All right. All right. Well, let me see if I can get through it. I call myself having that information.
It's in the book.
Hold on.
The author. Go to you just read that.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see what we got here then.
Go ahead.
Okay. It says Abdullah L. Talib Mosi Bey is a graduate of Glassboro State College, in parentheses, Rowan University in brackets, geographically located in Moorish territory, known to the general public as Glassboro, New Jersey, Republic, where he earned a BA degree in sociology. Abdullah continued his educational pursuits and also required a master's degree at Rutgers University Graduate School of Social Work. His greatest contributing impact made upon the people locally and across the country is universally acknowledged among those who know of his dedication and work in the area of intersocial reforms and birthrights consciousness. His numerous and beneficial efforts include, but not limited to, literary contributions to the great humanitarian cause of social intellectual, birthrights, and linguistics improvements, which come about with his association with all activities with the Moors Order Roundtable. Years, months, weeks, days, and hours of the week of the work, as well as focused study, have manifested as in practical writings, expanded interactions among other institutions, and inspired activities among the people. Consequently, his humanitarian actions have generated other meaningful forms of functional community participation among the native, aboriginal, and indigenous Moors. Much of his impacting influence involved the participation in this progressive, active civil order, Moors Order of the Round Table. Okay, man, that's quite extensive. Now that we know about your background and your qualifications for writing such a wonderful work, and the switchboard is lighting up here, brother. So if you would, before we start, could you tell the new listening audience one more time how they can get a copy of this book, Moors and Masonry?
Yes, Moors and Masonry is a 238-page book, and they can go to moorsandmasonry.org, Moors, M-O-O-R-S, the word A-N-D, Masonry, MASONRY.org to get the purchase of they can order the hardcover copy or the PDF version. Right?
Okay.
And then we'll make that announcement at the end of the show.
Oh, I got the controls. You don't have to worry about that. I got it. All right. Now, my first question, the most important question to me, exactly what was it that we were supposed to be taught about this stuff in history class that they omitted? Give us a breakdown on the historicity of that stuff, man.
All right. I'll start off since you raised that question. I'm going to start off by reading a quote which is on the back Tarhaka of the book. You see the book cover? The back book cover. Quote by Robert Davis, professor of Italian Renaissance history, Ohio State University. The enslavement of Europeans doesn't fit the general theme of European world conquest and colonization that is central to the scholarship on the early modern era. I'll read that again. The enslavement of Europeans doesn't fit the general theme of European world conquest and colonization that is central to the scholarship on the early modern era. Robert Davis, professor of Italian Renaissance history, Ohio State University. I have Brother Teef Jablari Eel draw this picture for me last summer of 4 Europeans bound in chain around their neck, all around all their necks, and then the more on the left holding down a granite turban and holding down the scimitar in the right hand and keys on the left hand, and the Moor on the right wearing a Moorish fez and holding up a Moorish scimitar. So this is a true depiction of history that's not taught in the schools. All right. Now, Robert Davis does teach at Ohio State University. His course is elective. Linda Colney, who teaches at Yale, who taught at Yale University in the 70s, now teaches at Princeton University. She teaches. She has a book called Captive, and there you have Nadir Matar at University of Minnesota. You have so there's a host of other professors who teach this, but their courses are electives. This is not taught in elementary schools. I did, however, find a textbook online, but that talks about the Moors, We the Moors, and I'm controlling Spain, but it was only about 2 or 3 pages in that one chapter. So there isn't an extensive discussion. Even if you go to Bentley Hughes, when the Moors ruled Europe, by Bentley Hughes, it was on the BBC. It was broadcast on BBC, British Broadcast Channel, about 20 years ago. And she's interviewing a host of several historians. Bentley Hughes is a European English historian, and one of the historians she's interviewing is about the question that this taught in the schools in Spain. And the European historian said that the information about the Moors' presence in Europe is taught in the schools in Spain. However, it is taught that the Moors had minimum impact, so they downplay it. So even though it's taught in Europe, it's downplayed. The impact was minimum, when in fact the impact was very impactful. All right. Okay. So what we should be taught is that we the Moors had European slavery. All right. What should have been taught is that we the Moors built up Europe. We the Moors brought Europeans out of the Dark Ages. The medieval period from 700 to 711 to 1492 is called the Middle Ages or medieval period. That is taught in all the schools when we're talking about European, what they call European history. I don't call it European history because we are the center. We the Moors are the center of European history. There is a 3-volume book called The History of the Moorish Empire in Europe, and that by S.B. Scott. You can get all 3 volumes for about 36 notes on Amazon. The history of each book is thick, about 400. Each book is about 600 pages. It's the history of the Moorish Empire in Europe, whereby the Moors had built several libraries in Europe, where one of the libraries at Cordova housed over 600,000 manuscripts. We made education affordable to poor Europeans. All Europeans all throughout Europe went to Cordova, Seville, and Toledo, which was the educational center of all of Europe. We built universities, bathhouses, irrigations, horticulture, surgery. We did surgery. You have the Golden Age of the Moors, edited by Ivan Sertigram, which was a compilation of 20 different articles by several different authors. And in the back of the book, in the bibliography section, has 40 pages, outlining the Moors' surgery to thesis, over 30 surgery to thesis, architecture, geometry, agriculture. This is what we provided. So the Europeans were not ignorant. This whole thing that Europeans thought the world was flat in 1400s, that whole concept is false. Absolutely false. The Europeans were highly educated. Why? Because we, the Moors, educated them. We brought them out of the Dark Ages. So they weren't. We made education affordable to poor Europeans all throughout Europe. You have the Moors' heads, the crown Moorish heads all throughout Europe. Germany, England, Norway, Russia, France, southern France, Sicily, southern Italy. Our presence, of course, our Spain. So our presence is actually there. So you're looking at the Moorish crown heads in J.A. Rogers' book, Nature Knows the Color Lines, is giving people references. As I continue to speak. Nature Knows the Color Line by J.A. Rogers, Chapter 6, The Negro as Moor in the European Aristocratic Family. J.A. Rogers displays in Chapter 6 over 100 more coat of arms and family crests of European aristocratic families. These are not poor European aristocrats, the poor European families. These are the aristocrats. And they have over 50 names that are derived from Moor. Named Moor in French, Moor in Italian, Moor in Dutch, Moor in Danish, Moor in English, Moor in Germany, all right, or German. So our nationality Moor was transliterated into these various Germanic languages. Those are actually the family names of these European aristocratic families. So there's been a big cover-up. Also, there's another book called by Dave McRitchie, Ancient and Modern Britain, volumes 1 and 2, Ancient and Modern Britain. And also there's another book, too, called the Phoenician origin of the Scots, Phoenician origin of the Scots, Britons, and I think the French. The Phoenician origin of I'm looking for the book now. The Phoenician origin, and guess what the name? But the name Britain, Briton, Britannica is actually name belongs to us. The name Britain belongs to us. We are the two British. We are the two British. The name Batati, all right, Batati, all right. That's the name Britain comes from. Also, the name George. George is actually a farmer. So the name George deals with husbandry or agriculture, coming from the Agro-Phoenician name Kur, K-U-U-R. So the George with the K and G are transliterated or interchangeable. So what the Europeans have done, using by transliterating names or reconstructing names and things or places, they are burying the history. Say what's not been taught. We also are the native, those who are classified as black, Negro colored, Spanish, Puerto Rican, Latino, also the native people of Europe. We are the Aboriginal. I am as native to here, Tarhaka. I am as native and original to North America, Central South America, as I am to Europe. Yes, I am. So we got to make that very clear. We're not. It's not, right, not one over the other. It's not one over the other. It's not one over the other. We are as native, original, and aboriginal and indigenous to Europe as we are to North America, Central America, South America, and you and the islands.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Okay, if we are the original natives, and I mean, I looked at the works of J.A. Rogers, and I see our image appearing on the coat of arms of all of the royal families of Europe. And, of course, there are statues, and the Moorish presence is still there, and I think they pretty much erased most of it from Spain because it was heavy there. The colleges, university, public baths, Cordoba, about the 600,000 manuscripts and all this stuff. I'm very much aware of that. Just straight through the works of Mr. What's his name? Stanley Lane Poole's work, The Moors in Spain. Where, my question is, where on earth, from where on this earth are Europeans a native of?
Nowhere.
Okay.
Nowhere. They were. See, now we got to get into the Yakuban experiment that they came about through genetic experimentation. They're not native and original indigenous to anywhere on the planet. They are test tube babies. They're test tube babies using the concept in vitro. They do it today. It's done today. So it's not something that's not done today. All right? You have, when you're fertilizing the egg of the woman, not, and then we crossbreeding the egg of a woman with a chimpanzee. And that took a process. It took a process of years. And then the Europeans became more civil. We had these civilizing through music, all right, various forms of other types of sound and education. So if you're looking at the Europeans, you'll see Europeans do not get upset when they read or hear everybody on the planet came from apes. That's out there. That's out there. Europeans, they have pushed that, right? They don't get upset. Now, Europeans don't get upset, all right? Now, hear me out, Europeans. Anybody Europeans are listening. Europeans, you do not get upset when it's said and when it's written that everybody on the planet came from apes. Okay. They only get upset when they only get upset when we say, no, we didn't, they did. But why would they get upset? Let's look at the psychology, family. Let's look at the psychology. Why would Europeans get upset when you would tell them that they came from apes, you didn't? Why would they get upset? Because they didn't get upset when you say, well, the whole world came from apes. They don't get upset then. All right? So what is the real issue there? What's the psychology there? This issue of wow, they can't accept the fact that we didn't come from apes, the fact that they did, which means that they see in their minds that we are superior to them. All right? And genetically speaking, we are. All right? I use support that, Abdullah. No problem. I can support that. In my book, my book is titled The Illuminati and Illumination of the Mind. That's all. Because you can also go to mooresandmasonry.org and get the PDF version of the Illuminati and Illumination of the Mind. I have done extensive research. I have documented the biotechnology research that's been done on melanin for the past 20 years. Billions of dollars. Europeans have spent billions of dollars on biotechnical research and melanin. They've used, one of the doctors in Italy has used, in his practice for 20 years, over 20 years, has used melanin to treat his cancer patients. They have used melanin. There's one research for 20 years. They've been doing research on melanin they're actually going to change the silicone batteries in cell phones and then change them from silicone batteries to melanin-based batteries. And so this is you talk 20 years of research. Also, there's another research in the book, all right, where because melanin can absorb a tremendous amount of radiation, they also use melanin in treating cancer patients who are dealing with radiation. So there's also another where a company called Melolens, that actually coated the lenses with melanin. They make what they call melanoma, synthetic melanin. Where that's naturally produced in us. They make synthetic melanin. So what is this melanin or carbon? So I'm showing you, Tarhaka, you already know, Tarhaka, Europeans are not going to put any money in anything if it's not beneficial. They're talking about billions into melanin research. See, that's how you present your case. You got to present information. You got to present information to show, all right, that this melanin is very important. Extensive research and money has been put into that. All right, and that research is that research can be found in my book, The Illuminati and Illumination of the Mind, MooresAndMasonry.org.
Well, let me ask you this, brother Abdullah. In your opinion, what do you think the impact upon the world would be if the local, national, and world news broadcasters would simply stop omitting the truth, stop bearing the truth, and start telling the truth nationwide about this origin and this information and this history that we're talking about now? What do you think would be the impact on the world?
Well, all right. What would be done is that that would begin the process. That would be of transferring the power back to us, back to the Aboriginal Native people of the world. So that's that, and then you're looking at that education has to begin with education, and that would be a beginning process of education where you're looking at massive education, while people will accept the information be coming from, because it will be coming from mainstream media. So our people will accept the information, all right, with open arms, because it's coming from mainstream media. So now, when that's done, then it has to be internalized, all right. So you're looking at maybe a process of a couple years, because it's not something that they're going to hear it once and then it's be done. Because then you're looking at some critical actions, that have to be taken forward, where this information is actually it's actually taught in an organized fashion in schools, all right, where you actually are transferring the power back to the Aboriginal indigenous Moors, who are currently classified as black, Negro, colored, Latino, Spanish, Puerto Rican, in the United States Census Bureau. Now, let me explain why I'm including Latino, Spanish, Puerto Ricans. All right.
Okay.
Because you said what's not been taught in history in schools that should have been taught. All right. Another thing that's not been taught is that those who are classified as black, Hispanic, Latino, and Puerto Ricans are indeed Moors, and they're not Hispanic. They're not Puerto Ricans. They're not Latinos. They're Moors. They're just as Moor as we are. No difference. No difference. We're the same people. There's no difference in culture, all right? There's no difference in ancestry. There's no difference in lineage. None of that, all right? In 1569, Philip II of Spain issued a Spanish bulla putting the Moors under Spanish rulership. The Moors were forbidden. The Moors were classified as Spanish, all right? The Moors were forbidden to wear their Moorish turban and Moorish feathers. They speak their native tongue, Arabic, all right, to wear their Moorish garb. All right, this is an actual bulla or edict coming handed down by Philip II. So what the Europeans have done has classified Moors. You have a body of Moors who are classified as black, Negro, colored, African American in the United States Census Bureau. Then you have a body of Moors who are classified as Latino, Hispanic in the United States Census Bureau. And because of the false history, all right, social engineering, that we think we're different people. They'll say, yeah, there's a race riot between the blacks and Hispanics. See that? Race riot between the blacks and Hispanics? That can never be. It can never be. Why? Because we're the same people. We're the same people. Same pedigree, same ancestry, same descent, same culture, same everything. It's that because of European social engineering and false history, all right, they perpetuate that lie and maintain the division. Now you said, what's the impact? The impact will be great now. Tarhaka, the impact will be great because you're talking about having bodies of people recognizing that they're the same people who think they're different, recognizing that they're in fact one. And what that would do, it brings about more harmony and more political and economic union. Absolutely.
Okay. So, what are our chances of getting the media to tell the truth today?
I'm not going to say none. I'm going to say slim to none, but I won't say that. I'm just going to keep it as slim. Okay. I'm going to keep it as slim because you're talking about mainstream media. You're not talking about social media. You're talking about mainstream media to tell the truth.
All right. When it comes to go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm gonna hear your question.
When it comes to Masonry,
all right.
I noticed at the bottom of the cover of your book, Moors and Masonry, you have the words, "Who are these imposters?"
Yes.
Could you give us the true origin of Masonry and a complete breakdown on what it is? In order to have imposters, we got to, what is it?
That is a great question. All right. What is Masonry? One, let's talk about first. I'm going to talk about the misconception of Masonry.
Okay.
People think that Masons and Eastern Stars, and also the general public, because of European social engineering as well as Asiatic social engineering, think that the measurement tools are used for navigation, calendar making, agriculture, horticulture, astronomy, navigating ships. They think they're symbols. Like you have these measurement tools that are on the back on people's cars. I didn't say symbols. Measurement tools, astronomy tools that's on the back of people's cars, on their hats, on buildings, on their T-shirts, on jackets. All right. So first they think they're symbols. That's where the misconception is, that they think they're symbols. All right. So therefore, the knowledge of its astronomical, its use in astronomy, calendar making, navigating ships, map making is suppressed. All right, because it's not properly viewed. All right? For example, Tarhaka, if we were to, let's say we have a 12-inch ruler. People who are listening to this show, most of the people throughout the world, except infants and young, toddlers, know what a 12-inch ruler is used for. All right, they won't worship it. They won't have it around their neck. They won't fashion it and put it on it as earrings. All right, they won't put a 12-inch ruler model on a building. They won't put a 12-inch ruler on their T-shirts, or they won't put a 12-inch ruler on the back of their cars, or on a hat, or on a jacket. All right, why? Why wouldn't they put a 12-inch ruler on the back of the cars, hats, T-shirts, on top of the building, on their walls? Why wouldn't they put a 12-inch ruler? Because they know its function. They know what it's used for, and they actually used that at one time in their life, particularly while they were going to school, and those who are currently in school use a 12-inch ruler. Now, you have a cross. A cross fits in the same category as a 12-inch ruler. What do you mean, Abdullah? They both are used for measurement. Now, why do people have a cross on their car, on buildings, on their T-shirts, on jackets, on hats? Why do they bow down to it? Why? because the knowledge of its use, of its mathematical use and origin, has been suppressed. A cross, which is a tau, which is a diameter. A cross is an ancient Egyptian water measure device where you have a shaft that's placed along the Nile River, and the tau or cross, which is if you're talking about a huge shaft, with you go into the shaft, and it has stairs, and the cross has notches, which represents cubits. All right, because it's a measurement device. All right, so they measure the Nile River flood annually. So that was the survival of the Nile Valley. Well, depicting the annual flood. So to measure the flood lines, they built a shaft, and placed the cross in the shaft with notches. We talk about a cross. I'm talking about a huge cross now. A huge cross or diameter that extended all the way down to the river and all the way up into the shaft. That's what it's used for. That's its use. So, looking at these, let's look at then with what Masons understand this. They can identify with the names Boaz and Jachin. You have the two pillars of Boaz and Jachin. All right, B-O-A-Z, Boaz, and Jachin, J-A-C-H-I-N. The two pillars mark the winter solstice and the summer solstice points. They're used, so they're astronomical markers. So you have brothers who, on their jackets, they have the checkerboard floor with the two pillars of Boaz and Jachin. And they identify it as, they're the two pillars of Boaz and Jachin. Well, what does it mean, brother? I mean, no, that's just a symbol of my fraternity. It's not a symbol. See, they're saying symbol. See, our Masonry is illustrious signs illustrated by symbols. They're not symbols. See, that's an improper orientation, Tarhaka. By calling them symbols gives them a improper orientation. Measurement tools. See, now what it does, it takes what? By referring to them as what they really are, it's what? It removes the mystery. It demystifies it. It now gives you a proper orientation to what you have. Used for measurement. The G means earth measurement. So Masonry, in its proper sense, in its true sense, doesn't deal with any symbols, any signs. Those have a function in astronomy, navigation, map making, calendar making, measurement. We're not looking at signs and symbols. We're looking at measurement devices. That first you have to have a proper orientation as to what it is. And once you have a proper orientation to what it is, Tarhaka, then you can be able to, everything else will open up to you. It's not complicated. It's that they don't have a proper orientation. It won't even take long. Within a matter of months, it will not take long. It's that they don't have a proper orientation as to what it is. They give a bunch of abstract connotated meanings to it. All right. So what I do is now that's not what it's not what I'm talking about. It's not in Moors and Masonry. This is a book that's coming out that is part of the collective series of Moors and Masonry called the Masonic Compass and Square and the Connection to Timekeeping and Measurement, which will be available this fall. All right.
Okay.
I didn't want to have a 800 to 1,000-page book. So what I did was I separated the chapters into separate books, all right, because the Masonic Compass and Square and the Connection to Timekeeping was chapter 4 of Moors and Masonry, all right. I decided not to do that and to make it a separate book, all right. So that's one of the books. And on the front cover, I have what the Knights Templar use, the tilted cross within the crown. Now, what does that mean? What does that tilted cross within the crown mean? What it represents is that the cross being tilted, all right, is encoded of the precession of the equinoxes. The cross is tilted at a 23.5-degree angle, which is the precession of equinox, all right, as the Earth's tilt, axial tilt of the Earth. Every 2,152 years, the vernal equinox moves in retrogression. Also on the book front cover, I have the warrior monarchs, the royal arc masons. You have the triangle within the circle. You have the circle, the triangle within the circle, and a triple tau within the triangle. Now the triple tau, it's math. It's all math. It's all math and astronomy, Tarhaka. The triple tau within the triangle, look it up, y'all. It's called the royal arc. Look it up, the royal arc, the scuba royal arc. All right, ARCH, and you'll see the image that they use, which is good with math. The triple tau, all right. Tau is the 19th letter of the so-called Greek alphabet, because it's actually derived from the Meta-Netta Egyptian hieroglyph. All right. So the 19th letter of the so-called Greek alphabet, 19 times 3, 19 plus 19 plus 19 is 57. It's encoded. It's encoded. 57 degrees represent 1 radiant. Now I'm explaining. In geometry, you learn to measure angles by degrees. Everybody's familiar with that who had geometry. But those who have not had trigonometry will not be familiar with the word radiant. But those who have had trigonometry are familiar with the word radiant. You measure angles by radiant in trigonometry, not by degrees, radiant. So 1 radiant equals 57 degrees. It's doing that conversion. All right, 57 degrees equals 1 radiant. So you're looking at that's math. So now you have your triangle, and you're looking at this circle, or your arc, royal arc, ARCH, in astronomy, you measure the distance between 2 stars. You call it the arc. What's the arc? What is the measurement of the arc between 2 stars? ARC. So they use the word arch, ARCH, but it's actually encoded for the word arc. So what is the arc measurement between 2 stars? All right. So now you have your circle. All right, and on the circle you have your chord. All right, your chord is that triangle. All right, within the circle is called a chord. That the outside of that triangle on the circle part is called that arc form. All right, it's called that chord, and that's used for measurements. You use that, and that measurement is actually, that knowledge is transferred into astronomy and navigating ships. All right, so that's what it's for. So they looked at that as a symbol. Don't know that it's encoded. It's mathematics that's encoded right in our face. Now I'm going to tell you.
Well, let me ask you this now. The brothers that are today that are calling themselves Masons, and the sisters are calling themselves Eastern Stars. So what are they doing? What's going on with them?
You have some brothers and sisters who know what I know, not very much. You have very few of them though, Tarhaka. What are they doing is that they join for the brotherhood and the sisterhood.
Okay.
They may be approached by a friend or coworker to give an application. All right, and they see it as a way to network, there's no problem with that. You network, you become part of a organized body that has a lot of influence, in the community, and different. You have and the network system that's been in place for over 100 years. All right, there's no problem with that, but it doesn't go beyond that. You know, they have their meetings. They have their social events and fundraisers. All right, since 2013, I've been able to network with quite a few of them throughout the country. All right, but it doesn't go beyond that. You know, they think that the mathematical instruments and measurement tools are symbols. All right, and they wear it on the jackets and T-shirts and hats and put on badges on their cars. All right, but as far as being taught the history of what I'm teaching tonight, no, not in all cases, but very few know what I'm talking about tonight.
Okay, I noticed on page 64 in your book,
64.
down the middle ways down there, the European powers in the 1500s and the 1600s fought battles against the Moors.
Yes.
I know a lot of people are not aware of that. Could you shed some light on that for us so we can get down in the meat and potatoes of it? Okay, go ahead.
Yes. All right, let's go back to this quote again. The enslavement of Europeans doesn't fit the general theme of European world conquest and colonization that is central to scholarship on the early modern era. Robert Davis, professor of Italian Renaissance history at Ohio State University. In 2011, the first day of school, I was talking to that former coworker. Now at the time, he was my coworker, and I had done a lot of research for Moors and Masonry during the course of that summer. And he asked me, and I was talking to him about the tremendous power of the Moors and the enslaved Europeans. And he asked me, well, Mr. Bay, how did the Europeans come into world conquest and domination? That's easy, by defeating the Moors. There's a direct correlation, Tarhaka, of the Moors' defeat, all right, and fall to the Europeans' rise. You know, the Spaniards, the French, that's Castilians, and the Aragonese. All right, you have the when they united Aragonese and Castile, Queen Elizabeth, and King Ferdinand united their kingdoms. Well, then they got married in November of 1463, and merged their kingdom, and that's your modern day Spain. All right, Aragon and there were two separate kingdoms: Kingdom of Aragon, Kingdom of Castile. You have the Portuguese, the Portugal and Spain, all right, also had a united political connection. You have the French, the Dutch, and the English. All five of them, Spaniards, Spain, Portugal, France, England, and the Netherlands, the Dutch, all five were fighting the Moors. All five Moors and Moors had captured citizenry from all five of these European powers. Moors had to seize the ships for all five of the European powers. We're talking about extensive diplomatic relations with all five of the European powers. So you got to look at, let's correlate the Moorish activity with these European powers. These European powers, Tarhaka, has been purported that they transported Africans from the continent of Africa to North Central South America between the 15 and 1800s. But these are the same powers, European powers, that the Moors were fighting. You see, once again, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the general theme of European world conquest. Tarhaka, we also took control of modern day India in 712. From 712 to 1763. Look it up. The medieval India under Mohammedan rule, Stanley Lane Pool. Medieval India under Mohammedan rule, 712 to 1763, Stanley Lane Pool, controlling Tarhaka. Why are there millions of what they call Muslims in India and Pakistan? Why there millions of Muslims in India and Pakistan? Once again, 712 to 1763.
Mm-hmm.
See, what's occurring today has a direct relationship to the past. All right? Direct relationship to the past. Absolutely. Absolutely. We also had trade with China. So we're looking at a worldwide power. We control the world with industry. See, when you control the commerce and trade and the seas, you control the world. It ain't you controlling a landmass. Controlling a landmass doesn't give you world power. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Controlling the seas gives you world power. Because you're talking about controlling trade routes, commerce. And the Moors did that at one time for centuries. Once again, doesn't fit the theme of European world conquest and colonization. That is central to scholarship, European scholarship on the early modern era. This knowledge that I'm bringing forth, man, what it does, it gives our people a solid basis to which to challenge and re-examine the transatlantic slave trade story.
Okay. Well, now, it seems to me now, because if you are, we got president now that's talking about making America great again. So to me, that sounds like he's attempting to maintain the strength of the cover-up of the truth, because he didn't say anything about we're going to. He didn't say we're going to make America great by exposing the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and all that's been covered up, and really make America great. He didn't say that. He said, I'm making America great, and then he going through the motions of doing all of this other stuff, and I ain't heard nothing about the original foundation yet. So I got this. That brings me to the question of who are, when it comes to Masonry, who are the imposters? Give us a breakdown on it. Give me the historicity of the imposter. Tell me about the imposter.
All right, I'm going to read this case. This case here. Let me get my notes here. All right.
Okay, take your time.
And all right, this case is the United States went to the United States Supreme Court. Was decided in the United States Supreme Court on June 3rd, 1929. All right, it's 279 U.S. 737, 742. All right, 279 U.S. 737, 742. All right, that's the United States Supreme Court case. All right, this case started in a local chapter. All right, what happened, Tarhaka? Let me explain. The ancient. Let me give background. The ancient Arabic order of the nobles of the Mystic Shrine, now called Shriners International, that's the Europeans. That was established in 1870. In 1893, the Prince Hall Masons, called Prince Hall Shriners, established the ancient Egyptian Arabic order of the nobles of the Mystic Shrine in 1893. That's the Prince Hall Shriners. The European Shriners called Ancient Arabic Order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, now called Shrine International, that was 1870. All right. Now, the case started in the state court of Texas, wherein the local chapter, a local chapter of the Europeans, Ancient Arabic Order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, and at Houston, sued the local chapter of the Prince Hall, Ancient Egyptian Arabic order of nobles and shrine. They found the Europeans. So I'm just going to say Europeans and Asiatics. Prince Hall, all right, is the brothers, Asiatics, all right. Now the Europeans filed an injunction, right, which means forbidding the brothers, the Prince Hall Shriners, from wearing the Moorish fez, from using the Moorish names, from wearing their own Moorish fezes, from using their own Moorish names, from using their own Moorish scimitar, from wearing their own Moorish pantaloons, from wearing their own Moorish jackets, from using their own Moorish emblems. All right, y'all get the picture? All right? Europeans filed an injunction. Now, the Prince Hall Masons, all right, appealed it. The Prince Hall Masons did not make the birthright claim. The Prince Hall Masons' claim was that they had a right to establish a corporation and use the names, the headdresses, the clothing, based on their establishing a corporation under the Act of Congress of 1870, of May 5th, 1870. They made the claim that their rights came from the Act of Congress of May 5th, 1870. They never made the birthright claim. They never made the claim that their right to wear their Moorish fez, their Moorish headdress, their Moorish use the Moorish scimitar, to wear the Moorish pantaloons, the Moorish jacket. They never made the claim that that's their birthright. These Europeans are playing us. They sued the brothers for wearing their own stuff.
Okay. Well, let me do this here now. Well, hold on now. We are hour and 57 minutes in, left on the clock. I would like to stop right now and say that if you have, to the listening audience, if you have a question,
good point.
To our guests, I'd like to open up the phone lines. All you got to do is dial into the broadcast at area code 310-982-4184. That's 310-982-4184. Press 1 on your phone. That'll give me an indication that you have a question. We can open up the phone line so that you can ask a question to our guests. We're listening to Brother Abdullah L. Talib Mosi Bey, author of the book, Moors and Masonry. And how can we get that book again, brother?
All right, you can get the book by going to my website, one of my websites, moorsandmasonry.org. MOORS, the word and, Masonry, MASONRY.org.
Okay. Now,
all right, thank you. I hope anybody with their hand up?
Well, we're going to just hold on. We're going to give him a minute now, because there's a lot to digest.
That's right. Give him a minute. Because I like because that's what it does. It gives me a chance to because I presented a lot of information already, so it gives me a chance to do some questions. Then it's a lot of information.
Okay.
I'm aware of that.
So, who are the imposters when it comes to Masonry?
All right, the imposters are the ones who sued. The imposters are the ones who sued in 1919. The Europeans who sued, who are the imposters, sued the true owners of the estate, but they don't know that they're true owners of the estate. The Europeans are the imposters. The imposters are in fact, the claim was that the brothers were imitating the Europeans. The Europeans made the claim that the brothers were imitating them. The imposters claimed that the brothers were imitating them. I mean, you got to understand, though, because the reason why they can get off like that, Tarhaka, is because they had controlled the schools. They controlled the institutions. They controlled the media. they orchestrated the false history. They know the mindset of the brothers. They knew the mindset of the brothers back then.
Okay.
They're arrogant.
Okay, but I'm still trying to digest this, what you just told me about imitating them. I can't. Wait a minute. Okay, let's go to another question, man, because I ain't even even entertain that. Not me personally. When it comes to education in the school systems, why do you think the education about civics was omitted? Why not leave civics in?
All right. I have to first explain civics because I don't want to assume that people know what civics is. All right. Civics is the science. Civics is the science that treats government. All right. The science of government, citizenship duties, citizenship rights. All right. That's what civics is. Now, people are aware or were aware of their rights, the right to own property, the rights to travel, the right to due process, all right, that governments are formed to protect existing rights, that rights are inalienable, all right, and divine, that rights do not come from government. I was teaching a sixth grade class, substitute. I sat in for a sixth grade class once, and I was teaching them civics. It wasn't a civics class, but I was teaching them civics. And I asked the question to sixth grade class, about 25 of them, asked them, where are rights derived? Of course, they didn't know what they didn't know the meaning of the word derived, so I said come from. Where do rights come from? You know what they answered? Government. They answered that rights come from government. That right there, there you go, right there, it sets them up for abuse, right there. That mindset, whoever taught them that, somebody taught them that, sets them up for abuse, right there. Mm-hmm. Rights don't come from government. Rights are inalienable, divine, natural. Governments are formed to protect those natural and inalienable rights. That's what governments are formed for. So if you acknowledge, if you are taught an abusive something, if you're taught something like that leads to you being abused, if you acknowledge that rights come from government, you're also acknowledging that government has the right to take away from you. Mm-hmm. If you acknowledge, Tarhaka, that your rights come from me, you acknowledge that. You're also acknowledging, on the other hand, that I have the right to take them from you.
That's right.
I mean, because if it comes from me, that means I also have the power to take them from you.
Okay.
You see the abuse. So the reason why it hasn't been done is the reason why they took civics out of school, all right, so they can abuse the people with impunity. That's why.
So give me the history.
You cannot abuse an informed public. The rights to travel. People think that a driver license gives them the right to get into a vehicle, put the ignition in, and start it, and travel down the road with the vehicle, and that if they don't have that instrument, all right, that they're breaking the law, all right, if they don't have that instrument with them, that they can't, mm-hmm. They don't have the right to travel if they don't have that driver license with them. That's one of the abuses. Mm-hmm. That's one of the abuses. All right. Taxes on property is another abuse. Mm-hmm. Taxes on your wages is another abuse. Taxes on your home, mortgages. Mortgages is another abuse. Mm-hmm. All right. So you have this. so many areas of abuse that rob the people of their inalienable, natural, divine rights, and then they're viewing, you know, they're thinking that governments are giving them their these rights. That's the abuse.
What is because we have down here in Florida, we have Florida statutes and Florida ordinances. What are statutes and ordinances?
All right. What is the
relationship to the law?
All right. You have. Let's deal with motor vehicle.
Okay.
Code to motor vehicle. All right. Now, which doesn't apply, the motor vehicle statutes do not apply to the conveyance that people have. They're not motor vehicles. All right, so they're actually using symbolography and words of art to classify the people's conveyance as motor vehicles. They're not motor vehicles. All people's wages, people's what they call pecuniary wages. What they, you know, when they get their check, that's their labor compensation. Well, the people been groomed to call it income. That's not income. Income is a return. It's a profit. That's not. So they what they've done was that using all capital letters, they created artificial persons, and have classified these people like actually creating a corporate that they themselves becoming a corporation on their jobs, and they're classifying their earnings as income. But first they misclassify them as actually businesses in themselves, and that's where so it's done through language. They can construct the word person. You have the natural person, artificial person. A person being a stock, a bond, a trust, a corporation, a company. That's what the word person falls under that. So these people thinking that the word person is used in the general sense as a flesh and blood human being, when in fact they don't know that the word person is actually defined in different codes and statutes as a stock, a bond, a company, a corporation, and there's a list of others.
Okay. Well, you know, I know you're familiar with Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. She wrote a book called The ISIS Papers. And in that book, she listed the global system of white supremacy. I still don't know what white people is because it's not associated with landmass. However, she stated that economics, education, entertainment, labor law, politics, religion, sex, and war are the 9 points of the global system of white supremacy. In your opinion, Brother Abdullah, which one of these 9 points, in your opinion, will be the most?
Read them again. Read it again, please. Economics,
education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. Out of these 9 points, which would you think is the most devastating to a growing populace?
If Carter G. Woodson, the book, the Miseducation of the Negro, the book cover. Now, not just talking about the title. The book cover, the picture that's on the book cover of the miseducation of Negro. He has a lock. It's a lock on a person's brain. All right? So you already know what I'm going to. What they call education. What they call education, I think would be, in my opinion, in my view, would be number one. That lock brain. All right? Why am I saying? Let me tell you why I say education being number one. All right? Because if you can control a people's minds, that lock on their brain, keep that lock on their brain, you control the economics, the politics. Because they're not going to, they have no basis in which to challenge any false claims. You know, the color of law, deception. They have no basis to challenge. So in order to perpetuate the lie and get the people to participate with it in it without you having to fight them all the time and have upheavals and so forth, you have to, you know, get them to be compliant, all right, without resistance. If you're talking about perpetuating for centuries, if you're talking about perpetuating this colonialism, European colonialism, in order to be perpetuated over the indigenous and Aboriginal Native people for decades, you have to get the Aboriginal indigenous people to be compliant without resistance. That's number one. And Drew Ali solved that. Drew Ali would solve that himself, as he said, in order to change the people, we must change their literature.
That's right.
And so I don't think
brother
it's the politics and everything. I think it's that lock on the brain. The lock on the brain.
We got a brother or sister with the hands raised at area code 347. I'm gonna open up the phone line and see what question you have. Area code 347. You are on the air. Tell us where you are, who you are, and where you're calling from. 347. Okay, 347 doesn't have anything to say. They has accidentally pressed the button. Okay.
Anyone else?
The number to dial into the broadcast, 310-982-4184. That's 310-982-4184. Press 1 on your phone. That'll give me an indication that you have a question for our guests, and I will open up the phone line so you can ask your question. Now, brother, in my opinion, I think you're absolutely correct. My position is as follows. In order for you to get a proper education where you can really, really function as a man or a woman in America, function-wise, as far as your brain is concerned, the first thing you have to know is who you are. If you got the truth concerning your ancient story and the ancient story of your ancestors and the contribution that your people have presented to this earth, you're officially ready to go out with supreme confidence. Fear roll off your back like water off the back of a duck. Disrespect is not tolerated. You ain't got no time for religion. That's the way I see it. That's just my position. And I think that people who don't have this, I think they will fare better. Because I look at it this way. If you gonna die anyway, well, you gonna die scared or brave? Which one? If you're gonna go that way anyway, why you got this stuff in your mind about all this here and all these materials and thoughts and thinkings in your brain, and somebody shoot your child down the street and then turn around and tell you you're going to do an investigation. Anyway, I ain't getting down all into that tonight, man. I don't understand it. Ain't got no time for it. It bounced off me like bullets off a brick building. But anyway, what I want to ask you now, my brother, and this is very, very important, is for you in your book. What do you think? And I know all of it's great, but the most powerful and vital chapter that the people that get your book need to really, really pay attention to, really understand, in your opinion, in your book, Moors and Masonry.
I'll just read certain. I'm going to read certain.
Okay, let us have it.
All right, give me a minute here. Go to page 32, Tarhaka. Because this stuff I was prepared. I had prepared my outline and notes and everything, so. Page 32.
Okay.
All right.
While you getting that together, I'm gonna go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna let the brothers and sisters know that we're going to after tonight's broadcast, we will be converting this into video, and we'll be putting it out there and putting it up on Facebook and everywhere else that those who busy tonight or had to work late tonight or what have you didn't get a chance to call and listen to the broadcast, they'll be able to go right there to YouTube and check it out. But if you're ready, go ahead.
Yes. The European response to the Moorish captivity of Europeans, negotiating the ransom for the release of Europeans held in Moorish captivity. Let me explain why I see this as a vital area in my book. When there's discussions of Moors that they classified as black, Negro, colored, African American, Latin, Latino, Spanish, and the Europeans, it's when we're talking about the Europeans and Moors, it's always the Europeans subjugating us. The Europeans brought over 10 million Africans from the continent of Africa. The Europeans holds the black people down. The Europeans lynched the black people. They'll say the white man lynched the black man. The white man burnt the cross on the black man's cows. It's always that we're being attacked, abused, subjugated by them. It's never where we're in a position of power. All right, when the discussions of Moors and Europeans come to the forefront, when African scholars, bring the discussion, it's in a lot of cases, it's what the Europeans, how the Europeans have enslaved us, and they've brought this amount of, Africans from the continent of Africa and so forth, and we brought in the holds of ships, and we shackled in chains. We never have heard where we had, in relation to the Europeans, we had power over them. We never hear any African scholars talk about Africans having power over the Europeans. Never. That's why I'm saying this is important. Once again, Robert Davis, the enslavement of Europeans. Now, Robert Davis, in his book, African Slave, White Slave, Christian Master. Christian Slave, Muslim Master. Christian Slave, Muslim Master. Robert Davis talks about the Europeans being enslaved by the Moors. Linda Cowley, who wrote Captive, Linda Cowley, she teaches at Princeton University. She's well-claimed, all right, awards. Christine Woodard, the University of Durham in England, and then in London. She's well-acclaimed, awards all over. they focus on the enslavement of Europeans by the Moors. Linda Colley, when Linda Colley, Colley, when she was at Yale University in the 70s, her European co-workers, because Linda Colley in her book Captive and other books, she talks about in 1640, the war 1640 between the Moors and the British. The Moors captured 10,000 British and held them in captivity. Now, that doesn't fit the general theme of this European conquest, of this European enslaving the Moors and oppressing the Moors. They want to keep that. They don't want you to introduce the facts of what? Black people enslaved white people? All right.
But wait a minute. But wait a minute though. Now, what I don't hear is I don't hear the word more in the media with any kind of positiveness at all, if it's ever even mentioned. What is as if this particular continent of information and history has been totally buried underground in a missile silo and concrete poured on it. I don't hear nothing about the Moors. I hear black. I hear black guy. And all this stuff here. Well, what is this? I mean, how long can this? I mean, I'm not a TV watcher. I like to look at the news and get the weather reports and stuff, because we be growing food down here and stuff like that. But it is amazing to me to see this right here. Man, it's as if let me forget about that. What's going on with all of this stuff in London, England, man, and all these bombings and terrorist attacks? And we ain't never heard nothing about England or Britain doing nothing about it. It's as if they're being attacked for nothing. So what's going on? What's behind it?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to we're going to bring Kometu on to talk more on that area. He's more. Yeah,
bring him in here. Put him on there so he can tell us.
Yeah, I'm going to let Kometu address that area, because he's more astute in that area than I am.
Okay.
My position is if I'm not clear on, if I don't know something, I don't want to fabricate anything. That does a disservice to the people. All right, Kometu.
Okay.
He's listening. Kometu, just sit.
Okay. When you get on, just tell him to dial in and press 1 on the phone, man, so he can give us that 411 about what's going on.
All right, hold on.
Tell him to press 1.
Yes.
Hold on, 7. Let me bring up our 347. 347, you got a question?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's going on with all these bombings over there, man? It's as if London and England and Britain, and they ain't done nothing to nobody, but all these attacks going on. What's the backdrop of that? Because they ain't just doing that for nothing. It's something we don't know about. What do you think? Okay, the brother called and dropped the sub. Air code 11111111111. You're on the air. What's your question?
Brother Tarhaka, how you doing? It's Delray. I'm calling right out of England.
Okay, man. What's happening, man? Give us a skinny on that thing, man.
He said he said he wasn't listening because he couldn't get in. He would try to call in again.
Okay, that's okay. Just tell him to press 1. I see him when he hit it.
Yeah, but I told him what I want him to address. So.
All right, well, let me hear what this gentleman had to say from England. But go ahead, man. Come on in, England.
All right,
we're listening.
All right, Colin, right out of the great realm of Great Britain, they're called United Kingdom Corporation. Same with the United States Corporation. Just sending thoughts across to you, brothers and sisters across the world. How's Brother Abdullah doing?
Oh, going well, bro. Do you have that's what you're gonna get you can get a PDF version of it by going to moorsandmasonry.org. moorsandmasonry.org.
All right, I'll definitely do that.
All right.
Okay, but
right,
man, you from England, man. Why they attacking over there, man? What's going on? You over there? What's happening?
It's crazy. Yeah, it's a bit crazy. That's why I called in. I had a couple of things I wanted to mention because I've got. I wanted to send some. I'll have to email you something. I wanted to quote something and then get your brother's perspective on it. But let's talk about this thing about what's going on over here because we had. It's 322 Skull and Bones because I like a bit of numerology. So we had the attack in Manchester on 322. Now, obviously, people don't know the Jesuits of Rome have been playing with the Gregorian calendar, so people seem to think May is the 5th month. But if you start the month from the beginning of the year, which is on March the 21st, which is on the spring solstice, East Gate, because the Jesuits know what's really going on. Then you've got March the 1st month, April the 2nd, and May the 3rd month, and it happened on the 22nd, so 322, so it's that Skull and Bones. So it's all ritual. So we had the 322 ritual on Westminster Bridge, where they did the ritual there. Then they had another 322 where they did the concert in Manchester, where they had another ritual there. And then we just had another one just recently. I think it was just gone in the last week. Basically over here, what's happening, it's a form of reverse colonization. A lot of the Muslims who are from, say, like Syria, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, a lot of those countries, Iraq, Iran, where US and England went to war and they've had all these troubles under 9/11, under the guise of 9/11, and they've been going to war and blowing up these countries and blowing people up. A lot of those citizens in those countries, or nationals, not citizens, because I don't want to be a citizen, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. A lot of the nationals from those countries have been given refugee status here, so they're refugees over here. So obviously their families have been murdered, killed by the British. So I think for me it's that Wahhabism, that reverse psychology, that they've come into England saying the refugees, staying here, they've got that kind of jihadist mentality, and basically what's happening is that they've been waiting for an opportunity whereby they've been here for so many years, and they've now got an opportunity to almost strike back at the heart of the establishment. So, and I think the British government are actually letting them do it because a lot of the communities over here who are normal, moderate Muslims have been informing the government about these jihadists, and they've been telling the government, look, these people might be dangerous, and the MI5 have been watching it, and the security services have been watching these people, and yet they haven't arrested them, they haven't convicted them, anything like that, and then obviously we've had these bombings. So to be honest with you, it's a form of reverse psychology and reverse colonialism because a lot of the British people who are here now, they're saying kick everybody out because they don't want everybody here because of all the trouble that's happening. So I'll stop there and then I'll come back at you again. But that's basically what's going on at the moment. But they're letting it happen on purpose.
Okay. All right. Well, we got it now. So it's based on stuff that British and England has done to these people, of which we haven't understood any of it. It hadn't been broadcast to us about what they've done, but I know for a fact that people ain't bombing and killing like this here over there for nothing. You have to have done something to these people for them to do the stuff that we've been coming aware of. And so I appreciate you bringing that information out and telling us what it's all about. So now I understand now because I knew it, but, because you don't just do this kind of activity to somebody that haven't done nothing to you. You don't do that unless you just a savage. You just mentally disturbed. But anyway, you got any more questions for our guest, brother?
Yeah, I was just one more extra addition as well. Now, you'll know about the Mujahideen in the Afghanistan. A lot of the CIA funded the Mujahideen, and all this Wahhabism, that movement is now coming across Europe, and so the European countries are having the same kind of problem. It's not just here in England, it's going on in France, where they've had terror attacks in France. Somebody got hit with a police officer got hit with a hammer about 2 days ago. It's been kicking off in Belgium, where they've had attacks. It's been kicking off in Germany, where they've had attacks there. So it's spreading right through Europe. So you're having this kind of, I think it's the Jesuits playing everybody up to the middle, and I think they want the Christians versus the Muslims again, and I think they're going to have this kind of holy war based on the revelation that they're trying to play out for the September the 23rd this year, where we have a galactic alignment that's coming on September the 23rd. So I think they're going to try and play out Revelation, the 7 years from September the 23rd, because they do a lot of cosmogony and cosmology to run the planet properly. So they know everybody's waking up. They're aware as everybody is beginning to see what's really going on. So I think because they're trying to change this system with the banking and they're going to get all that stuff, I think for me there's a lot of things that they're trying to change up. So they want everybody in complete and utter chaos so they can offer the solution. So it's that Hegelian dialectic they're actually playing out, definitely. So I think they're trying to get everybody on it. The reason why I called in was because I saw your title, European Masons, and the legacy of the Storage Moorish Estate. Now, obviously, at the moment, I've got a British citizenship and I've got a British passport. Now, that ran out May last year. Now, that passport is a slave contract because it's got I know to break the passports down now. And you've got diplomat, you've got P, and then you've got A. And so the A stands for aristocrat, and the diplomat is D, and then the P stands for pauper. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to renew a British passport. What I want to do is either declare my nationality, but I need some way of getting some kind of diplomatic passport because I don't want to use a British one. So I want you to know what your thoughts on that, because I was thinking about going down to the St. Kitts Embassy, because my dad is originally from St. Kitts, and I want to get a diplomat passport because I still want to travel, but I don't want to travel as a British citizen because I want to get rid of all that nonsense, because I'm not even voting tomorrow either. I don't want to do anything like that. So it's about nationalising and claiming your estate. Now, one more quick thing I wanted to say this. I know somebody who's a European over here, and I've been with her recently. Now, what they've done over here, the Europeans, because they're sick of it, they're beginning to wake up to the government as well. The Europeans over here, what they've been doing is they've been getting seals, creating their own private trusts, and what they're doing is they're getting the birth certificates ready, and they're going to the Queen and they're getting the birth certificate stamped, and they're getting the second side of it stamped in blue, and they're claiming back the Sestakey Trust. Now I know somebody who's done this recently. I'm going to see her within the next couple of weeks. What do you think to that? I mean, me personally, I want to nationalise because I think all the money that's created through the Sestakey Trust is all fake fiat paper anyway. And I think it's more about your heritage and nationalisation. But she's actually done it, and the government are pretty much leaving her alone. And I think she's going to be able to claim back a lot of the money from the Sestakey. So I wanted to see what you kind of was seeing on that front. But I want to talk more about nationalising, so I'll probably need to get in touch with you and talk about that, get your email or just something like that. But I wanted to see what you kind of think of it on that, because it's definitely our estate that they're holding. It's our estate, definitely. But that's what we found out over here, that they're holding the estates through Sestakey, and a lot of people are claiming back, they want to claim back the estate, and that these are Europeans over here who realise what's going on with the government.
Okay. Well, you got a paper and pencil?
I have my pen with me. I just need to get a bit of paper. I had a pen with me on purpose because I knew I might need it. Just give me a sec. I'll get my pen. I just need to get a pen. All right. Yeah, I've got it now.
Yeah, just write down this number, 904 303
904
303 9061.
9061. Okay, 904 303 9061.
Yeah, we're gonna discuss that and make sure you got that down right. But I want you to hold on, because I got another a caller with his hand raised. I'm gonna bring him in, and we asked him the same question about what was going on over there. Area code 347. You're on the air.
Yes, Islam.
Islam, all right. Let us have your take on this thing, man. We got England on the line here.
Yeah, well, listen, I love what England is saying. He said one primary piece out of all what he said, and that's called banking. All right, we all familiar with BRICS, you know, because the BRICS is going to be the new IMF system. And so, of course, that threatens the IMF that's over there in England, but the British Empire, the financial market is breaking up real bad. You already know about Brexit, all right? And there's another company that's leaving London and going to Paris, all right, called Brexit, like an exit Brexit. So, again, what's happening is that it's a financial transition that's going on, Brother Tarhaka. And so the bombing there is to get people's minds off of the financial transition that's going on over there. Now, one thing that people need to be aware of is that there's Islamic bonds out there, and the biggest buyers of Islamic bonds is U.S. Men or Euro-Asians, what they would call white men, connotatively, are the biggest buyers of Islamic bonds. And if we go back to the time that we had the big blackout here, somewhere in Ohio, which was the state that ran the energy from several different states, people got to begin to start realizing what happened at that time, Tarhaka, because at that time, the Saudis was pulling out trillions of dollars, or was trying to pull out trillions of dollars out of the U.S. economy to cause it to collapse. So they pulled the plug. So again, anytime you find some strategic bombing or something tragic going on in the society, is because there's other undermining issues that's going on, Brother Tarhaka, that people don't see, so they'll take their minds off of that while this transition, this banking transition is happening. All right, that's just nothing but a diversion. That's all that is. It's a whole banking scheme that's going on that a lot of people are not paying attention to, because a lot of us is not learning about what this whole banking system is. Now, what I wanted to ask the brother from England, what's the central banking system over there in England? Because we already know what it is here in the United States, which, of course, is the Federal Reserve. So what's the name of the central banking system in the British Empire?
Correct, he's spot on. We've got the Bank of England over here, and this is the bank that everybody should research. And Tarhaka is Bank of International Settlements. It's run by the Jesuits of Rome. That is the mother bank of them all. And the IMF is under them. It's totally correct. That's right. And so is the Bank of England. And because of this September alignment that's coming up this year, they're changing their system. Is right. It's changed from a 6-6 week to a 5-5. And the Silk Road, the Jesuits have been all up under this. It's totally correct. It's totally right. You're totally spot on. I know what's going on. And they're trying to change this system, and they're going to claim everybody's estates and throw them into this new system. What they don't want is people waking up and pulling out, like the brother was saying. They don't want, because everybody's estates are running on these birth certificate bonds, and they're standing as surety. The brother's totally correct. And so this thing at the moment in London is the heart of the financial world. The brother is absolutely correct. And all your U.S. taxes at the East Gate that happened on it just after the spring equinox, all your taxes come by the Queen of England, and they come here, and then she splits it with the Jesuits of Rome for the International Bank of Settlements. The brother's right. So the whole thing is about plasma and banking and claiming our estate. The brother's totally correct. Well, yeah, it's the Bank of England. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, I appreciate you, brother, and I need to stay in contact with you too, because I've been trying. I had a contact one time in England, but I lost the contact because I've been doing a lot of research and studies online over at England that relates to what's going on over here, because even though the Jesuits, which we know from Vatican, are controlling the financial global market through England, and in England is doing the same, I do a lot of research, and I know there's a connection, all right? I know that the Libra rate is really the control over the dollar, because it's determining what the rate of the dollar is going to be at the day. It's going to have to be by the Libra rate coming from the Bank of England. And of course, you know what the Libra is the London International Interbank Offer Rate. And so they determine what the value of the dollar is, not the Federal Reserve. People think it's the Federal Reserve. It says no, it's the Bank of London that determines what the U.S. currency is going to be, to determine what the student loans, the credit cards, the auto loans, mortgages, whatever financing that takes place here in the U.S. is London at 11 o'clock London time is going to determine what the rate of the dollar is going to be here. So now we know that the U.S. dollar is definitely being controlled by London, all right? But it's also controlled by the Jews, because if you look at the eagle, you see the Star of David above the head of the eagle, so that shows you who's also in control of the dollar, all right? So when you start looking at the history in Europe with these European Jews running their money, they was actually the money changers, all right, because no nation in Europe really wanted these European Jews because they was always killing the economy, all right? So it's always good to study the history with them also, because they got their hand in it, just like the tax dollars going to England, of course, it's going to Israel, and of course, definitely the Vatican. So those are like the three major places where tax dollars from the U.S. is definitely going to. So I'd like to stay in contact with you, brother. I can give my number to you.
Give me your number. Give me your number.
I'm about to do that, Brother Tarhaka. If you have a pen, brother, you can take my number down. And, of course, the number for me, yes.
All right, I'm ready.
Yeah, my number is 347-626-1357. I'll say it again, 347-626-1357. And let me give you my email, so that way you can contact me by email also. It's Moorish, which is MOORISH, law, LAW, at Optimum, which is O like in Oscar, P like in Paul, T like in Tom, I like in ink, M like in mom, U like in up, M like in mom.net, N-E-T. That's Moorish Law at Optimum.net.
All right, I've got. Can you just say your number again for me, please, brother? 347-626.
1357.
1357. Yeah, I'll definitely keep in touch. In regards to what you're saying about the Ashkenazi Khazarians, you're right, because if you look at the Rothschild, and they're not the highest banking family, the Ashkenazi Khazarians, the Rothschilds are actually the guard what's called the. Have you ever heard this term? The Banca di Spirito. That's the Jesuit bank. London Stock Exchange, which the brother's correct. He said about the LIBOR rates. It's totally spot on. And when I went to London, which is near St Paul's Cathedral, where they've got the pineal glands on top of the covered in gold because it represents our consciousness. The Jesuits still heavy in cosmogony. People don't realize it's the cosmogony and cosmology that runs the planet. And the science of money, or Moonai, it's the planets and how the sun affects us, because gold represents the sun. It's high consciousness. That there's a spiritual side to this for the plasma that's connected for the banking system that people don't realize. It's a big thing, and I totally agree with you, brother. So the Banca di Spirito, which works close with the Vatican's main bank and the IMF, the Bank of International Settlements, again, is close with the what's called the Rothschild family. So they're the guardians for those banks. They're actually the guardians, but the actual owners are the 13 powerful nobility bloodline Italian families, which I've got the names of them as well. So I know how the whole thing's running from top to bottom. I've studied the Roman cult. I get what they're doing, and it's about high consciousness. And with us, I think, because we are already there, they're more scared of us than we are of them, because they can't shut this consciousness down. So they're spending most of their time trying to get us into a trauma-based, fear-based mindset where we've passed all that nonsense. So it's going to be interesting what they're going to do in regards to that alignment happens on September the 23rd, and they're trying to play out Revelation as that tribulation of Revelation between now and the 2025. So they're hopefully going to get this whole new financial system in that the brother was mentioning under what's called the SDRs. That's a special drawing rights, and they're going to back that by gold through the Chinese. So they're all getting involved with it, and they've actually started doing it already. So the Chinese have got a percentage of it, the US have got a percentage of the British, and they're putting it into what's called the SDR, special drawing rights. So they are beginning to set up this new system It's just not being fully implemented yet. So I'll stop there. But yeah, you're on point. It's follow the money, follow the money, definitely.
Yes. Now I want to share something with you, brother, because you mentioned about the passport, and what I want to share with you, when you get a chance, study and try to become a customs broker, because a customs broker don't need a passport. Once you get your customs broker, you just need an affidavit. You can travel anywhere in the world as a customs broker. But that was something that I was studying about 15 years ago.
All right, that's cool. I said look that
Yeah.
up.
Okay, brother. Well, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get back to my guest. He's sitting down, and I know he's getting the education right now. I am. But we're gonna get back with you guys. I'm going to have to mute your mic and get on back down so we can go on through the rest of this show. Brother Abdullah, you still with us?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Commander.
Okay.
Stay with us, man.
All right. Well, we're gonna get back with him because I gotta open up his phone line again. But you are the guest.
No, I'm talking about staying on. I don't want him to hang up.
Oh no. He's still on. He's still hanging. I'm looking at him, and I appreciate the brother out of London, England, calling in and dropping that little science there for us, so we'll know what's going on. And I know, I was looking at they went in and they killed Saddam Hussein, and then they turned around and said they killed Bin Laden, and they turned around and killed Muammar Gaddafi and all this. So yeah, I wonder what about it. And after I started looking at what was going on, I said, okay, all right. So you still trying to hold on to the same old garbage. But my next question to you, brother, is you gave us the most important chapter. What is, because we're trying to get the brothers to get a hold of this book that you got.
Yes.
And so the second most powerful information in that book is what now? What chapter do they need to go to?
Yeah, so this is for chapter 2, page 32. The European response to the Moorish. 32. Yeah, page 32. The European response to the Moorish captivity of Europeans, negotiating the ransom for the release of Europeans held in Moorish captivity. Many charitable associations were established during the 12th and 13th centuries to negotiate the ransom of impoverished European captives held on Moorish and Moorish and Turkish captivity. Jean de Matha of the Matha High School, and the Matha High School is named after him at Baltimore. Jean de Matha, M-A-T-H-A, founded the Order of Trinity, the Order of Holy Trinity and Redemption of Captives in 1199. Pope Innocent III approved the order in 1198. The order is known in France as Martiens or Donkey Brother. Stanley Poole and James Douglas Gerard Kelly and the Barbary Corsairs give accounts on the orders ransoming Europeans held in Moorish captivity. Quote, Matha's first voyage, 1199, brought back 186 captives. In succeeding generations, some 20,000 slaves were rescued by good fathers, a large number, clad in white robes with the blue and red cross on the breast, 3 colors symbolic of the 3 persons. Fiercely confronted the corsairs and bartered for the captives' ransom. The order, and this is another order, the order of the Virgin Mary of Mercy of redemption of the captives, also known as Our Lady of Ransom, was established in 1218 by Saint Peter Nolasco in Barcelona, Spain, for the redemption of Europeans held in Moorish and Turkish captivity. The order's members are known as the Mercedarian friars and nuns. In 1236, Pope Gregory IX granted the Mercedarians formal recognition as a religious order under the old rule of St. Augustine. The order exists today in 17 countries. Budget Meakin, in his book, The Moorish Empire, a historical epitome, documents the statistics of redemptions of European captives from Morocco. The immense total of slaves redeemed by the various order can be but vaguely guessed from such data as are now obtainable, of which the following are specimens. In 1255, 2 English friars, Gilbert and Edward, sent home 460 slaves by a third. Friar George remaining themselves to suffer martyrdom by preaching, a fate which likewise befell two other English friars, Patrick and William, after having delivered 590. In 1307, Raymond Albert, Prior General of the Order of Mercy, delivered 300, some of them from Algiers. In 1313, Guillermo Geraldo and Claude de San Ramos Ramons, the preacher, rescued 236, and in 1330, 236 were brought back into Barcelona. In 1338, Juan de Luca recovered 116. In 1343, Domingo Pardo, 150, including 50 on the credit. In 1402, Juan de Herrera and Bernardo Arenas redeemed 258. And in 1448, Dennis de Mandaca and Servian de Paris, who also converted a grand rabbi and brought him back, released 104. So it goes on. Let me just get some other. Rizali is fleet and request to chastise those terrorists who have commenced to arm by sea these 8 years and have taken more than 6,000 Christians and 15 million lives. So this is we talk about the years of activity, years of enslavement, years of negotiation. All right, so we're looking at how the Europeans were negotiating, release. So you had these orders that were set up for this main purpose, to raise money, to negotiate the release of poor Europeans held in Moorish captivity. So why isn't this discussed? I read, and we're talking about what, 1199, 1255, 1313, 1338, 1418, 1519, 1543, 1568, 1663, all right, 1664, all right, 1685, 1690, all 3,000 taken at the fall were enslaved. So you're looking at the enslavement of Europeans by the Moors and also the negotiation of their release. So this is why I think that this is a very important section, because what it does is it gives you insight into our power. Because, as I said, our power is not discussed even by African scholars. It's all the whole focus. Most of the African scholars is this transatlantic slave trade story. That is like the African American Museum at the Smithsonian African American Museum at Washington, D.C. I haven't been there yet, but I know people who have been there. Several people who have been there have told me about the exhibits, and most of it deals with, the slave trade. I mean, there's a huge exhibit so the information about our captivity of Moorish, of Europeans, they're paying us annual tribute to pass the high seas. It's not taught at all. Why not? Because it doesn't fit the theme of European world conquest and colonization now, and furthermore, it also doesn't support the transatlantic slave trade story.
Well, now we got we down to our last hour and stuff. I'm gonna bring Brother Commit to you in because I got to question him to give me a breakdown on this Mason stuff. So if you hold on a minute, I'll bring him back in. Brother, commit to you. You still with us?
Yes, I am, brother.
All right. Let me have your take on this Mason stuff, man.
Well, first of all, I have to commend Abdullah. He did an excellent job. Let me expound a little bit on what Abdullah also is saying too, Brother Tarhaka, and for all those who are listening. I have numerous of books from scholars who's writing about the Moors. And I'm talking about Afrocentric scholars, right? Now, one thing that they seem to be writing about, which doesn't make sense to me, is they have the same argument with the Egyptologists is having concerning the ancient Egyptians either being black or white. Well, that's the same thing that's going on when you go read the book, The African Expressions of Early Asia, edited by, of course, Ibn Sardama. And when you start looking at these several scholars, their argument is about black and white. Is the Moors black or white? Now, Edward Scobie mentioned about Moors being mixed in with Germans and Spaniards or other Europeans, where Andalusia, which was Spain, was a mixed generation. But, of course, the Moors was dominant in that area. But the point is, what Abdullah is dropping tonight is so essential that not only that the Moorish government, right, is being used by the United States, but not only by the United States, but all European nations are all standing on the shoulders of Moors, because Van Sertima himself said there were 17 universities in Europe that was erected by the Moors, and the European only have 2, Cambridge and Oxford, right? So Abdullah was 100% correct when he had said that this thing have to be done by education. Why? Because, you know, Ali made it clear. In order to change the people, you must change the literature. So it has to be through an educational process, which is going to be a very difficult task because you already know who's controlling the education system. And the thing that disturbs me the most is that we got a lot of people throughout the United States own property, pay school taxes, and don't determine what the education of their sons and daughters is going to be. Or their sons and daughters not even may be in school, but they can make the determination for other people who's of Moorish ancestry, all right, based upon the fact that they're paying property school taxes to the property, all right? So that's a factor that we need to look at. But how are we going to really penetrate this is through our young generation who's heavy into rap, all right? Because even Fat Joe out of the Bronx had put out a song many years ago that was a hit song, and of course you hear this phrase, Barikwa Marana, Barikwa, all right? So he was giving props to the Barikwas and the Maranos. But I want to try to get to Fat Joe because I'm sure he don't know who the Maranos are, all right? Because in Spanish, as Abdullah would point out also, they're using too much English substitution to define the real origin of what these words mean, even in Spanish. So not only etymology permeates through the English language, but it permeates in all the languages, all right, that is using a writing script, all right? And so, again, the word Marana is the feminine for a Moorish woman, like Mary or Maria is the feminine for a Moorish woman. As a matter of fact, that was a title during that particular time. But at the same time, if you was to call any of the Spanish-speaking sisters there who are Moorish descent or ancestry, I should say, Maria or Mary, they would say, oh, that's not my name. Not realizing that the word Mary or Maria was the title of nobility like they use the word lady in England today. Lady and gentleman is title of nobility. So they didn't realize that those titles, like Mary, and Mary, that name is so highly esteemed among who? The Roman Catholic Church, because they even say, oh, Mary, mother of who? God. So you know that was of a high stature, the name itself. So it's just interesting how our Latino brothers and sisters, lack of a better description for them, because technically they are Moors and Morinos, Moros and Morena is who they are. And they do recognize that, because one thing I do know, Brother Tarhaka, you can go up to any Spanish-speaking brother or sister, and you use the term Morena or Moro, they know what that means. I don't care if they're Mexican, San Salvador, Colombian, which is all colonial names that we already know. But I'm just naming these different colonial geographical places where we are at. And if you ask them anything concerning Moro or Morena, they all know what you're talking about. But how's that ironic in English? If you say to our brother and sister in the street, when they ask you a question, what are you? You say Moor. They say, what's that? Some kind of religion? So it's interesting how in the English language they play down the word Moor so hardcore that they have erased the Moorish consciousness out the minds of our people, to a point where we start saying, what is that? Some kind of religion. But I want to say something real quick and get off the air so Abdullah can go on with his show. I was listening to the BBC News one day. There was a British curator that was doing a tour around England. And, of course, he had the tourists. And he was saying that a great people have built up this place all up in England and, London, And so one of the tourists had asked the British curator, he said, well, where is these people? Where are they at to this day? What happened? The curator had said, oh, they're still here. They're the black people. They just forgot who they are. The British curator said they are still here. But he didn't say more, which would have been better if he would have said more. But he knew what he was doing when he said black people.
Oh, yeah. He knew what he was doing. No such
he knew what he was doing when he said that.
He knew what he was doing.
Exactly. But it was astounding for me to hear him say, oh, they're still here, which means that the empire of Great Britain was built by us, which is what Abdullah was talking about earlier in the show. So here you got this curator saying it, but he's not saying Moors. He's saying, oh, they're still here. They're the black people. They just forgot who they are. But they didn't know. We didn't know ourselves as black. We knew ourselves as Moors at the time. So I just wanted to just leave off with that.
Okay. Well, we're going to be getting back with you, brother, because I'm going to do a show, and I'm going to get my the chairman of the Moorish government. I'd like to get a hold of you. We get on there, and we got some things to discuss. But I'll be getting back in touch with you.
Definitely, brother. It's a pleasure, brother Talk. It was good hearing your voice.
Good hearing you too, brother. All right, brother Abdullah, we back, man. What I want to do is take a little quick break, man, because you've been rolling, and you need a little break, and I know I need one. And when we come back, we'll continue. So just hold on, okay?
All right.
All right, we'll be back.
We gotta have peace to keep the world alive and war to cease. We gotta have joy to in our hearts with truth we can't destroy. People hear us through our voice. The world knows there's no choice. We're making save the children, the little ones who just don't understand.
All right, everybody, we're back. Brother Abdullah, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Now, you gave us the first most important part of your book. And now, in your opinion, I know it's going to be hard now, because you got this thing packed full of the historicity and all the stuff they are not broadcasting, they are not teaching it, and they are not giving the people what it would take to set them free. So, and to bring peace to the earth. But in your opinion, the third most important chapter of your book, 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
I know it's tough, man. I know. I know it's tough. Well, we need to know about that thing, man.
You know what? Let me the bibliography. The bibliography, because it's extensive. Let me go to the bibliography. That's on page 207.
Wait a minute. Let me get over there. Page 207.
7. Yeah.
207. Hold on a minute.
This is a very important. This is I have over 100 books listed.
Oh, okay. So you finna drop these
I have 100 books, reference to letters. This is. Let me just read some of this.
Okay, well, give us some of it, man. Because
I'm going to read some of it.
This is huge.
Yeah, let me read. So people can have get a feel.
Okay.
Islam in Britain, 1558, 1685. Nabir Matar. The Barbary captive narrative in early America, Paul Bapler. English accounts of captivity in North Africa and the Middle East, 1577, 1628. That's the Renaissance Quarterly, 54, 2000, issue 54, 2001. Pages 553 to 557, 553 to 572. The Royal Navy, a history from the earliest times to the present, 7 volumes, at least 466 English ships with perhaps 5,600 Englishmen were taken between 609 to 1663. We have here warfare at sea, 1500 to 1650, maritime conflicts at the transformation of Europe, Ottoman territoriality versus maritime usage, the Ottoman Ireland and English privateering in the wars with France, 1689 to 1714, Elizabethan documents, captivity narratives, and the marketplace of foreign history plays. Rosalind L. Newston, Lords of the Sea, A History of the Barbary Corsairs, Alan J. Jameson, a History of Anglo-Moroccan Relations to 1900, London, Foreign and Commerce Office. A relation of the whole proceeding concerning the redemption of the captives in Algiers and Tunis. Gunpowder and galleys, changing technology and Mediterranean warfare at sea in the 16th century, which is the 1500s. Another one, just a few more. The complicated plight of piracy, an aspect of English criminal law in the image of the pirate and Defoe. Studies in 18th century culture. O.M. Brock, Jr., Volume 14. A discourse of laws related to pirates and piracies. All right. Calendars of state papers. That's of England, Edward VI, Mary, Elizabeth. Calendars of state papers, foreign items, 10/8/84 and 2019, British History Online. That's www.britishhistory.ac.uk. Let's see, all right, London Metropolitan Archives is the principal local government archive repository for the Greater London area, including the City of London. It is the largest county record office in the United Kingdom. It was established under its present name in 1997, having previously been known as the Greater London Record Office. It is administered and financed by the City of London Corporation. The archive is based in 40 Northampton Road, Clerkenwell, London. It attracts over 30,000 visitors a year and deals with a similar number of written inquiries. LAM's extensive holdings amount to over 72 miles of records of local, regional, and national importance. With its earliest record dating from 1067, the archive charts the development of the capital into modern-day major world cities. So that gives you that. You have here Browse Collection, London Records Society. This series contains a number of volumes published by the London Records Society. These include transcripts, translations, abstracts, and lists of primary sources related to the history of London. A Brief of Captives, 1620-1691, London Guildhall Library, London. Delvin Record Office, Exeter, British Library, London. All right, so that's just gives you a feel of the amount of resources that's available that I have available in this book. The information that is available is just knowing it was tedious work, but it's well worth it. I see this as it's a resource book. You know, it's I see it when I do. I refer to a lot of information here. You know, reading different excerpts of books. When I do different presentations like this, lectures and blog talk shows and what have you.
You be traveling over the country doing speaking engagements?
I haven't done. I've done a few book signings. I did a lecture at Boston. Of course, I do classes in New York. Of course, in Philadelphia here, Maryland. Been for this since did a book signing at Columbus, Ohio, in January. And I'm going to, and of course, I've done a number of blog talk shows, and also taping for YouTube and Instagrams and so forth. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Well, let me ask you this now. First of all, before I get back in, because we still got a little time on the clock, I want to run off a few copies of books and stuff that I hope the listening audience will go ahead and get. One of the books is The Moors in Spain by Stanley Lane Poole. For those new listeners that are listening to this for the first time, been the first time over the Moorish Talk Live 100 at Blog Talk Radio. Another one is They Came Before Columbus with Ivan Van Sertima, and all of the works of Dr. John Henrik Clark and all of the works of Brother Amos Wilson, and Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. Also, The Exhuming of a Nation, the story of Noble Drew Ali, The Exhuming of a Nation, by Elihu Pleasant Bay. Also, you need to get the book called The ISIS Papers by Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, and you do want to look at the works of Dr. on cognizant dissident, and that way you can understand the thinking of what type of thinking would have to happen for people. You have to, in order for what we are experiencing today to exist. That means that there are people who knew better that would have to deliberately forget the truth in order to hatch some garbage that we are calling reality and the way everybody's supposed to be living and all this, and everybody enslaved. You know, you go to the stop sign and you don't come to a complete stop, you owe me money. You run a stop sign, you owe me money. You run a red light, you owe me money, and so on and so forth. It is an amazing, and the people don't realize it. The people, it seems to me that the people are constantly adapting and adapting and adapting to a police state and national enslavement. And I know for a fact the only way to stop a bully is you got to deal with it. But anyway, I ain't getting down in all of that. I just wanted to shed that little flicker of light into the minds of the people to start looking at reality and really paying attention to what they call freedom and what freedom really is. I mean, if you ain't bothering nobody, you living peacefully, you relax. You don't need to be police. Show me your passport. Show me your what for what? Who are you? And all this business. But anyway, I'm gonna move forward, brother. Now, what I want to ask you is, in your opinion, with your interaction with the neighborhood or the community where you live, in the area that you reside in, how's that going? Are the people treating you all right, man?
You know, this is Philadelphia, Camden area. You got a lot of development that's going on. Europeans are they're doing renovating the gallery, building. Europeans will be moving in within the Center City area where they're building condominiums. About 5 or 6 new condominiums where Europeans are moving from the suburban area into Center City. We've got a lot of colleges expanding. You know, and that's taking place all over the country. You know, that's at Chicago, that's in Newark, Boston. So you have this redevelopment going on in other cities.
Okay.
One more. There's another book that I want to mention.
Go ahead.
Unexpected Faces in Ancient America by Alexander von Wutenau. Unexpected Faces in Ancient America by Alexander von Wutenau. Wutanau. Wutenau. Now, I have all those. There's 150 photos in that book, of which I have all of them on my website, my other website, moorishcivilletter.net. moorishcivilletter.net. You go to the photo gallery, and you'll see all 150 photos of stoneheads, figurines, masks, and statuettes with broad noses and thick lips found in North America, Central America, and South America, proving through archaeological evidence that those who are classified as black, Negro colored, African American, Latino, Spanish, Puerto Rican are the Aboriginal indigenous people of the land. We are the native people. Millions of the native people of the land live in the cities. But because of European reconstructed history, we think that the native people live in reservations. Millions of the native people live in the cities.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Are you a Mason?
Yes. Mason, as I explained is actually astronomy it's actually the science and culture of the Moors, philosophy, science, and culture of the Moors. Now, the brother mentioned 322. 322, the number 322 deals with anatomy. All right?
Mm-hmm.
You have the anatomy and physiology of the Bible, which is encoded in Bible stories and also Masonic rituals and allegories. So the Europeans, and I know the brother mentioned about cosmology, the brother from England. But the way he was presenting the 322, it almost gave it a sense of mysticism. You know, that this skull and bones, 320, it's anatomy. It's not, see what the Europeans have done, because it's not being, it's the truth of what it is not being presented, you know, from its anatomical, physiological perspective and astronomical perspective. People view it as masonry, as mysticism. You have people will say when they talk about masonry, they'll talk about it in the sense of blood rituals. You know, Whitney Houston, that was a Masonic, that was a ritual, a blood ritual. Michael Jackson, so forth. They'll mention about these, you know, these blood rituals. The word Illuminati has been mystified. You know, not that the word Illuminati referring to the enlightenment of the mind, where you have the Christ. The Christ is actually the oil, which is crystal. You have the word Krishna in Sanskrit and Karas in Egyptian. While the Karas is the oil, and the word Christ means anoint, and anoint means oil. So the oil is secreted in the brain. So that's the whole key, is that once that oil is secreted in the brain and it flows back down, the key is to get the oil that is secreted in the brain, get that oil, begin to get it to flow back up along the spine, so they can activate the higher brain senses. So the Christ is within us, but it's the oil. It's just the oil secreted in the brain. That's all it is.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this.
It deals with the anatomy and physiology, the physiology and anatomy of the mind, and how to activate the higher brain senses. So most of the people, as you've always heard, most of the people use 10% or less of their brains. So I want y'all to hear me out. Now, because we've never thought about this, we lose 10 to less % of our brains, which is, if my daughter got a 10 on a test, she's in trouble. She would be in trouble. 10% is not a lot. So look at what we can do by using 10% of our brain. Look at what we can do by using 10% of our brain. Now, just imagine if we use 20% of our brain. What can we do? What about 30%? What about 40%? We're not even talking about 100. 40%. What would we be able to do if we use 40% of our brain? I mean, you're talking about a lot of power there. But we have that. But we have that capability. Our ancestors did extensive study and research on the brain. This is why the snake, the dragon, the asp, the leviathan was actually revered, because what that does is the snake representing the regeneration of the body, the cyclical nature of aspect of nature, because the snake sheds its skin. So we used the snake as a representation of what nature does, as nature cycles. So there's a constant cycle in regeneration that takes place, even of the body. What the Europeans did was taking that most sacred image and distorted it. They'll call you a snake. Like those people listening today have misused the word snake. Use the word snake in a negative sense as, oh, he's a snake, which means you're deceptive. That's connotation. That's not the snake refers to wisdom. So if I call Tarhaka a snake, I give him high honors. I would never call a European a snake. I would never call a European a snake. By calling a European a snake, do you know what you're calling him? Do you know what you're calling a European when you call a European a snake? You know what you're calling him?
What?
You're calling him a master. A master.
Oh.
A master.
Okay.
A high wisdom. You're calling a European a master. You're saying he's a master of high wisdom. I'm talking about in the true sense, not its distorted, connotative sense. I know people use it because of European social engineering. They've been conditioned to use it to mean deceiver, because the Europeans told us that.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let me ask you this. Now we got a lot of brothers. I got the clock, brother. Just.
Oh no, I want to take some more calls. That's why. I want to take some more calls.
Well, the lines are open. The lines. I got more questions, man. The lines are open. The number to dial in is 310-982-4184. If you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand. But my next question to you is, we got a lot of brothers and sisters that are Masons. They call themselves Masons today, and you've already stated earlier that a lot of them, some of them do, but a lot of them don't know what it is, the real science behind the ancient historicity and all of that. So what do you think that these brothers and sisters, they would fare better if they began to do what? Learn what? They've already taken the oath and.
Well, no, I have a lot of because since putting out the Masonic newspaper that I put out in December 2013. I did a lecture at the King Solomon Grand Lodge in Washington D.C. in July 1913. Being on Senata TV. I got a lot of exposure, and a lot of Masons and Eastern Stars have contacted me. So for the past 4 years, I expanded my network with a lot of Mason Eastern Stars because of the newspaper and YouTube and so forth. And they are really open to learning more. They really are. I'm not surprised. And what it does, Tarhaka, it empowers them, because their view of Masonry is that they didn't have the scientific view of it. They're looking at it as in the terms of just going through what they call the rituals or the ceremonies. All right, going to meetings, doing different fundraisers. Because Matthew's been with me. He and I did a lecture twice at Cleveland at Masonic Lodge, and we were well received.
Okay, good.
So they are hungry. They are hungry. They are indeed hungry, looking to expand. That they, like I said, they don't know. They don't know.
What do you think we should be teaching our children today?
Well, as you already said, we need to teach our children what their nationality is.
Okay.
And when over 10 years ago, when I was I taught nationality to over 5,000 students at the Kansas City Public School over a 10-year period. I was in a teachers' lounge. This was over 10 years ago, among teachers at one of the schools at Camden, And one of the teachers, when I was explaining to the teachers about that nationality is not, people are classified by nationalities, not by shades and tones. And one of the teachers responded by saying, that's not the real world. That nationality is not the real world. So I said, yes, it is. I said, yes, it is. You have Chinese, you know, from China, Japanese from Japan, English people from England, French from France, and she never spoke to me again.
Shut up.
I know she was embarrassed, but I wasn't trying to. I was not trying to get a one-upman on her. I was not trying to embarrass her. I was simply educating, you know, at the time, and I wasn't even talking directly to her. I was talking to everyone at the table. So now my question that I have, not for you, for myself, is why did she say that nationality is not the real world? I can tell. Now, I think I have an answer.
What's the answer?
I think she says because in the race and ethics standards for federal statistics and administrative reporting, statistical policy number 15, you have black, white, the classification of black, white, Hispanic, American Indian / Pacific Islander, Asian, all right, no, American Indian / Alaska Native. We have Asian / Pacific Islander. Those are the 5 classifications.
Okay.
We at the school, when we are counting our numbers, we check black off for those who more, you know, classified as black. We check Hispanic off, so we don't see nationalities on papers. We don't see Moor and Irish and Chinese and French and Dutch and Nigerian and Portuguese and Mexican and Dominican and Colombian, all right? We don't see that at the schools, at hospitals. I was dating a sister at the time, and she had to go to the emergency room at one of the hospitals at Camden. And so she, like I said, they used the race and ethics standards for federal statistics and administrative reporting. And so she was called up to the desk in the emergency room. It was a sister, classified as a dark-eyed sister, all right, more classified as black. And so she took her name, and they asked for a name, you know, and what she in the dress, telephone number, you know, where she worked and stuff like that. And then so the sister I was dating at the time said to the worker, and she was typing the information on the computer, you never asked me what my nationality is. She said, I checked black off. She said, she checked black off. She never asked her what her race is, her ethnicity, her nationality. She never phrased any question like that. She checked black off. By looking at her, she just checked black. So the reason why I think the teacher said that nationality is not the real world, because in our communities, that's not something that, you know, is addressed. We don't see it at hospitals. We check black off. At recreation centers, black off. At schools, check black. But at the United States Immigration and Citizenship Office, they are given forms with the word, with nationality, a section of nationality, and then also country of nationality. Nationality and country of nationality.
Okay.
That's at the those are the forms that they're given at the United States Immigration and Citizenship Office. Now, all right. So when those same people are on these jobs, they're given the forms with black, Hispanic, white, American Indian / Pacific Alaska Native, Pacific Islanders, Asian / Pacific Islander. But that's not what they're given at the United States. They're not given that same classification and same form at the United States Immigration and Citizenship Office. That's why.
Okay.
So Moors classified as black. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this. Now, you, we read your credentials off in the colleges and universities and stuff that you have attended, got your degrees and stuff like that. When you were there, what percentage of what you are telling us now did you learn from these colleges and universities?
0.
Okay. All right. So now wait a minute. Wait a minute now. We got it. It's been recorded. It's on the record.
0.
Okay. Well, now here goes my next question. All right. I know there's a such people is Chinese, and there's a land called China. I know there's a such people as Indians because there's a land called India. I know there's a such people as England because there's a land called England. I know there's certain people as the Japanese because there's a land called Japan. I know there's North Korea and South Korea and so on and so forth. Where is Hispanic land at on the map?
You have Hispania that was named by the Romans. Espanol, named by the Romans.
Where the land at?
And then that's in the Iberian Peninsula, and this is where the name Spain comes from the name Hispania. You had, you had the two kingdoms.
Let me make sure I got this right now.
Argon and Castile.
So,
all right.
The Hispanic people that we see today.
They're not. They're Moors. They're Moors. They're Moors. They're not. They're not Hispanic at all. They're not.
All right.
Well,
then we got it. Okay. Then. Well, where is? I'm gonna get my map out. So you can point to it.
Let me say this. Hold on. Not connect you. Tarhaka. Let me give me a minute here. I just don't want to.
Okay.
It's important for the listening audience to have some evidence. All right.
Okay.
And I don't like just throwing stuff out there because that's not going to empower the people. All right.
Okay.
And the coat of arms. I was at the coat of arms of some of the Central and South American countries. You have you have the pyramid. Within the pyramid, you have what's called a soft fez, a Moorish fez, a red soft Moorish fez.
Okay.
At Nicaragua, Haiti, El Salvador, Costa Rica. All right. Just Google the coat of arms of Central and South American countries.
Okay.
Now you know that's their parentage, their Moorish parentage.
Okay.
Also keep in mind Dominica. Dominica is named after Saint Dominique, there was also Saint Dominique is the founder of the Dominican Brotherhood. So Dominica is not the name. I know that people say they're Dominicans. I know that. They'll say, what's your nationality? I'm Dominican. I know that. That's family. That's truly not their nationality. That's not their nationality.
Okay.
I know they'll answer that. That's not their nationality. That's not. Dominica is not their nationality. Dominica is the name of Saint Dominique who established the Dominica Brotherhood. That's the name. Colombia. Colombian. That's not their nationality. It's not their nationality. All right, it's not even debatable. It's not even debatable. I know that those nation states were established in the 1800s. That's not their national origin. Dominica, Brazil, Portugal, that's not their national origin. It's not even debatable. It's not debatable. Nothing to debate. They were established in 1800s. So I ask them. Ask anybody. Ask one of them. And they said Dominican, no problem. Colombian, whatever. Argentina, no problem. Excuse me. You know that those nation states were established in 1800. So what were you before that? Right, what were you before that? You say you're Dominican. All right. What were you before that? They can't say Dominican. Why? What were you what were your people in 1500s? What were your people in 1300? What were your people in 1000? Year 1000. What were your people? They can't say Dominican. They can't say Colombian. They can't say Brazilian. They can't say Trinidad and Tobago. They can't say them. They can't say that.
Okay.
Those are modern. You talking about 1800s? Early 1800s to late 1800s. They're Moors.
Okay. Well, what are the Mexicans?
A Moor.
Okay.
A Moor.
All right. Well, is it possible for Europeans or Caucasians to be Moors?
Yes, they are. All right. Let me give you. Now, like I said, I don't like this to answer like that without providing support. As I said before, and James Rogers' book, Nature Knows No Color Lines, Chapter 6, the Negro as Moor he has more quotations. I don't know why he has more quotations. He should have Negro. He should have the word Negro in quotations, but he has the nationality more in quotations. The Negro as Moor in the aristocratic European families. He shows the code. He displays in Chapter 6 over 100 coat of arms and family crests with dark olive Moors. Now these are the family crests of aristocratic European families, and they have names that are derived from Moor, and Portuguese, Italian, German, Dutch, Norwegian, Danish, French. These are their family names. Family names derived from Moor. You have Moor heads, crown heads of the Moors, and all throughout Europe, bro. Norway, Germany. In fact, the patron saint of all of Germany is somebody that's your complexion. Saint Maurice.
Okay.
Saint Maurice is the patron saint of all of Germany. You have Moorish heads throughout Germany, southern France, Sicily, Norway, England, France. So it's there. They clearly know who we are. So this who are the Moors crap. Who are the Moors? Who are the Moors? You talking about who are the Moors? What are you?
Well, let me ask you something. Now, are you a married man?
No.
Okay, you're not married. Okay. All right. Now I'm trying to figure out, because I know the Moors, when they own the coat of arms of the royal families of Europe, and first of all, what is a coat of arms? Let's get that part straight first.
A coat of arms is a family represents a family parentage. It's a symbolic representation of a family parentage. So you have Moors that's in the crest, also on the shields of these European aristocratic families, letting you know that that's their ancestry, and they're proud of it. They're proud of their Moors ancestry.
Okay. Well,
I mean, it's only a secret among Moors classified as black, Negro, colored, African Americans.
Well, what about the coat of arms of the families in the Americas? I mean, I'm okay. This is what I'm looking at. Okay, we had Europeans that came from that region, over in England and Britain and all them places there. You have images of people that look like me and you, dark-skinned people, on the coat of arms of the royal families of Europe. But when they came across the ocean to the Americas, where the coat of arms showing the same thing here? Where is it? Where do we have to go to find them?
All right, historical societies. They're private families. You have historical societies all over our land. In these different various cities, you have historical society. Every like every city or town would have an historical society.
Mm-hmm.
Europeans have maintained the history. It's not something. It's not lost. This is whole crap that's lost. No, they have historical societies. One thing they're good at, bro, is keeping records, bro. They're good at that.
Okay.
They're good at that.
But I want to know what the records they keeping about their coat of arms, so I can go get them out and display them at a flea market or something.
You got a lot online too, Tarhaka. There's a lot online. Pictures of a lot online. You got the coat of arms of Moors in Europe. I mean,
I'm talking about the ones for America. I'm talking about the ones for America. I want to see the same coat of arms of the same people that came over here to the Americas.
Tarhaka, they are the ones. Tarhaka, like, what you're doing is you're separating. You're separating Europe from here. You're separating the coat of arms of the European families in Europe from here. Don't separate that.
So just go over there and get the pictures and bring them over here.
It's the same coat of arms.
Okay, all right. Well, I just thought maybe since they crossed the Atlantic, but what I'm saying is I just thought maybe since they came from across the Atlantic, they may have brought that with them, and we could have had it in all of our institutions for everybody to see right now, so everybody would know.
They're not going to display that publicly like that, man. It's done in Europe. It's done in Europe. It's a public display of that in Europe, but not here. No.
All right. Well, brother, we're down to the last 5 minutes. Give me your final words. We're gonna close this thing down. And what you want to say to the listening audience is your final words.
All right. I want to thank you again for having me. On the book cover, Moors and Masonry, I have the landmass that they falsely call the United States. Superimposed on the landmass is the Moorish flag. And upper right-hand corner is the Moorish affairs. Upper right-hand corner is the Great Seal Pyramid. And below that is our three buildings, the Moorish Capitol Building, Moorish Supreme Court Building, and the Moorish Palace called the White House. And below that I have 4 Europeans and above that who are the imposters. There's a past European monarch, grand monarch, he belongs to the Muslim temple. That's the mystic order of the veiled prophet of the Chetan realm. There's a past European grand monarch who belongs to the Il Bey temple. There's a past European grand monarch who belongs to the Islam temple, and they have the Islam on it. And there's a past imperial potentate who belongs to the Morocco temple. All right, so that's the front cover. And to get the book, once again, you go to moorsandmasonry.org. Moors, the word and, masonry.org. Masonry is spelled MASONRY. All right? I want to thank you for having me, and looking forward to coming back.
Oh yeah.
And to
brother, we got to have you back.
There's a lot that I didn't talk about. I have a whole outline, of information, and I was ready to, talk on this. But your questions led me other areas, which is fine. All right, so I can come back and I can expand on the other information that's related to the book, and also part 2 of Moors and Masonry.
Well, I tell you what, we are definitely going to have you back on, brother. And for as listeners concerned, we will be coming back with more information of this type. And y'all stay tuned for other broadcasts that we're going to be on. Brother Abdullah, I certainly appreciate you being on. You did a wonderful job. We will be converting this into a video, and I'll be sending you a copy over to your email address. Now, man, stay tuned. We'll stay in touch. And when I get around to it, because we're down here dodging hurricanes and trying to grow food at the same time, when I get a break, I'm going to get in this book, man. I'm going to read this thing, man. I'm going to take my time and I'm going to read it. But
all right.
I thank you.
I thank you. All right. Enjoy the rest of your night. Peace.
All right. You too, my brother. Peace. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we just finished listening to my illustrious brother, Abdullah Talib Mosiah Bey, author of the book Moors and Masonry. He's giving you the website to go over there and get that book. Let me see if I got it right here. For those of you tuning in late, www.moorishcivilletter.net. And so you can go back and listen to the broadcast again in case I said it wrong and get it, because we did that at the top of the broadcast, so you'll be able to get a hold to the book. And you can actually read the book and learn something from the book. And his contact information is on the back of the book, and y'all can contact him and get a hold of him. But anyway, it's time to shut this thing down. I've been your host, Tarhaka LB, and y'all y'all have a good night, okay?
Ooh, baby, I think you ought to give me just one more chance. I'll make it up to you. Come on, you owe me that much. Heck, who knows what the night's gonna bring? You just might like it. In fact, I promise you'll like it. I think you need a refresher course on my love anyway. You must be done forgot how good I am. Let me tell you something. When I get home, babe, I'm gonna light your fire. All day I've been thinking about you, baby. You're my one desire. I'm gonna wrap my arms around you, baby. Hold you close to me. Oh, baby, I wanna taste your lips. I wanna feel your fantasy. Yeah. I don't know what I'd do without you, baby. Don't know where I'd be. You're not just another lover, you're everything to me. Every time I'm with you, baby, I can't believe it's true. When you're laying in my arms and you do the things you do, you can see it in my eyes, I can feel it in your touch. You don't have to say a thing, just let me show how much I love you. I need you, yeah. I wanna kiss you all over and all over again. I wanna kiss you all over till the night closes in. Till the night closes in. Stay with me, holding me, loving me, baby. Here with me, feeling you close to me, baby. Oh, close to the dash. Show me everything that you do. 'Cause baby, no one else does it quite like you. I love you. I need you. Yeah. Oh, I wanna kiss you all over and all over again. I wanna kiss you all over till the night closes in. Till the night closes in. Well, I wanna kiss you all over and all over again. I wanna kiss you all over just one time and all over again.
You've been listening to Moorish Talk Live 100 with Tarhaka LB. Thanks for joining us. See you next time. Peace.